to the Facebook group, which is what I set it up as, so we'll see.
Okay.
But it's good.
Oh wow, I feel like
Especially with this one, it just means that the only people that are watching are the girls in the dance team.
yeah.
So it's totally fine. Yeah, so we are live. Hi, Laura. I want to grab a wee moment with you. We have talked a lot about, so welcome to our series called A Moment With, and tonight we're having a moment with Laura Kirkman. The moments that we really treasure in a dance class are those moments that we get to grab snippets of real life with people. So those moments when you're walking back to your car or walking to the bus or, you know, the shops or whatever it is that you do after class, that's when you get to really know someone. And I think it's quite an intimate moment. And this last year, we've just lost all of that, haven't we? So I thought it'd be really nice to try and recreate it and grab a moment with you. So with that in mind, how was class tonight? How are you doing?
it was good. I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
It was completely new dance for me, but I thought it was quite nice. Yeah, really nice. I'm also feeling my legs a lot after the whole week, so.
You've not done much. Oh, we're getting feedback. You turn your volume down a bit, Laura?
Yeah.
No, okay. Might have to play around with the microphone settings. But that's okay. So you've not done St. Patrick's Day before, because that was what we're working on tonight. So you were at trad class tonight, where we're working on, we've moved on from Jockey to the Fair, which we did last week, and now we're working on St. Patrick's Day. So that's your first time trying it. That's cool.
It was, but it seems like a really nice, like cute little dance. I'm excited to do more. I have to say, I'm on carpet, so it's not quite the same effect, but we'll just pretend that we can hear.
You know, it's hard when you don't have a proper studio to be in.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good that you're still dancing on carpet, though. It's still dancing, you know. And
yeah, it is.
I guess what are the reasons for dancing? It's got to come down, for me anyway, it comes down to joy and movement and doing something with your friends. I mean, yes, that bit's missing, but I don't know, what's it like from your side? What's it like being in a Zoom class?
Yes, so it's quite good. You can see, well, I can see you on the main screen, but then on the top row, you can see some of the other dancers as well. So that's quite nice. Or like at the beginning and end, you can just put it on to everybody's, so you sort of see people and can give them a wave, which is nice. But I don't know, can you see us when we're dancing or?
No, so what I do is I record the class. So it records what my screen is seeing, so that I can edit it afterwards and send you out a really nice edited version. So part of it is not wanting you guys to feel that you're on screen and being recorded and it's going to go out into the wider world. So it's quite nice to know that you guys can dance your hearts out, nobody's watching, do your thing, and then I get like a really nice clean video that you guys can watch back afterwards. And you know, I don't know, how do you use the videos, because you're a full member, so you get access to all the videos. Have you used them much?
Yeah, I tend to use them like actually before the class. If we're doing, if we're carrying a dance over into the next week, so on week 2, I tend to go in and look at it, say half an hour before the class or 40 minutes before the class, just to refresh that beginning part. So yeah, that's how I tend to use them. It's also quite good sometimes how I tend to slow it down, like slow the playback speed down, so you can, if there are parts that you've missed out or like I haven't picked up in the class, you can really slow it down and see. And also I find, because sometimes I hear you say the comment, like it's hard to do things slowly. It's hard to really do a step slowly. So that's no problem. You can just play the video, slow it right down, and you've got it in slow motion.
And listen, that's great, because I do that as well. I still, like when I'm learning a new dance, I will watch whoever's teaching me. I will slow that video right down and get right into the detail of it.
Yeah.
And you pick up a lot actually doing it that way. So that's brilliant to do that. Oh, that's great to hear that it's working for you. Like, obviously, it's not, Zoom doesn't work for everybody, and I know a lot of people have Zoom fatigue. I'm really lucky because I present to Zoom. I'm not kind of one-to-one on it. I don't do meetings. I don't have the same intensity with Zoom. But you work at a desk. So how do you motivate yourself to come to class? Like, how can you do it after a whole day of looking at Zoom? How do you find coming to a fitness class?
So I tend to look at the number of steps that I've done by 5 o'clock. That's a pretty good motivation to get on the exercise class and just sort of blast out for an hour.
Good for you.
But I think just moving, like I try during the day, obviously, to get up and move, but it would just be like a little sort of walk around the house, a lap around the house, and then you're sort of back at your desk. So it's quite nice. I'm quite lucky I can go to a different room for the Irish classes, so to almost like shut off the office day or the work day, go to a new space and just move. It's a nice feeling when you've been sat down all day to just move.
Do you have any other lockdown tips for office workers? Movement's important, but and obviously having something to look forward to, like an Irish dance class at the end of the day. But is there anything else that you've noticed during lockdown that's really helped you get through? Like, what are your lessons from lockdown? What have you learned from this crazy thing?
Yes. So I guess for me, like the past year has been very different. So the sort of first lockdown 1.0, whatever people are calling it, I had just finished uni, and then I found myself with all the time in the world, a lot of cancelled plans. That big final holiday before work did not happen. And then the second lockdown I have been working, so it's been very different. I think trying to have some kind of a routine is helpful. So whether it's like going for a walk at the same time each day or calling a friend, I quite like during lunchtime, my lunch hour, to call a friend and just have a completely non-work related chat. Because even during the day, if you're chatting to people at work, it always, like, you try and not focus on work. Sometimes they encourage us to have calls that are just sort of catch up, but you always slip into chatting about work.
That's quite impressive. Like, so do you think big businesses have learned a lot from the first lockdown? I mean, you weren't there, I suppose, the first one, you were graduating, but do you think big businesses have learned how to support their employees? Like, what else are they doing? That's fascinating.
Yeah, I think so, because I think you can just get a lot of fatigue just sat staring at a screen all day. So we've tried to sort of recreate the sort of 10 minutes at a coffee machine that you might have. We also do try and do like inter-department calls. So when you're working from home, you tend to only speak to the people in your team because they're the ones that you need. But if you were in the office, you'd speak to everybody, even just saying hi or 5 minutes walking past.
Yeah, just in passing.
So trying to call different people,
Yeah, it's because you come to our coffees as well, don't you? On a Tuesday, if you're free and you're like.
Yeah, I try to.
Yeah, if you're like on annual leave or have a sneaky time to pop out and see us. The same thing. I mean, it's always existed. I'm self-employed, obviously, and it's always existed for self-employed people, this kind of working by yourself thing, and you can very quickly lose touch with the outside world. So for me, lockdown's been kind of a blessing in some ways, because a lot of people are now experiencing a little bit, it's maybe a bit of an exaggerated version, but what it's like to work by yourself and be self-motivated and needing a routine and having discipline, but noticing you also rest and not feeling guilty about taking a lunch break. So it's been fascinating for me from this side to see all, but also, I mean, just the whole teaching over Zoom has its benefits and has its negatives as well. I mean, so the Irish Dance Village came out of lockdown, big time, because we all needed community. It's what was missing, that connection that you were saying with your colleagues. And our tagline, if you like, is pursuit of heart filled. It's something that I'm quite passionate about because I think it's a philosophy more than a tagline. How do we, in every day, pursue that feeling of heart filled? And everyone, the nice thing about it is it means something different to everyone else. So my final question to you, Laura, is what is heart filled for you, and where do you find it?
Yeah, I think it's such a nice little tagline to have. Well, I honestly find it in the Irish Dance Village, of course. But I think a lot of things also from that, just feeling connected, making new connections. There are a lot of people, I mean, I made some great friends when I started dancing with you when I was at uni, people that I would never have probably met if it hadn't been for those classes. And we still keep in touch, which is lovely. And meeting new people through the village. I love making those connections and finding out about people and their story. And just finding, like, I think lockdown has taught me just to find any little moments of joy that you possibly can in the day. So even just like the other day, I looked out my window, there was a rainbow there. I'm like, oh, just appreciate that for 1 minute away from the screen. Just look at that. Or just meeting people out and about on walks. I know that we have personally, like, we've discovered so many new places around where we live. We probably wouldn't have done if it hadn't been for lockdown and just having so much time to go out and explore. And almost just get lost, even though you're in the city that, I mean, I'm in the city that I grew up in, but you can still get lost and find new places. And I just love that sort of sense of adventure.
Absolutely, Laura. That's so nice. And I think the Irish Dance Village attracts beautiful people that have gorgeous hearts and gorgeous souls, and you just fit right in. It's just lovely to work with you and to see you every week, and you are always so dedicated and full of this joyful smile, and you work really hard because you were a ballerina before and Irish is new to you.
Yeah, but very much so.
Yeah, but you've just taken it all in your stride, and you're so supportive of what it is that I'm trying to do, so I really appreciate it. And it's been lovely. It's been lovely having a moment with you, Laura.
And the same to you.
It's really nice. Well, I will wish you a heartfelt evening, and I will see you at class. Are you going to yoga? Yeah, yoga's our next class. So you do the yoga.
Yoga is wonderful. I have to admit, I'd never tried it before, and I kind of thought it was just a little bit of stretching. But I have been proved incredibly wrong.
We're doing yoga with Laura Watt, and she's a powerhouse, isn't she?
Yes.
She's just full of energy. She's incredible.
Oh, in the most beautiful way, though. She just makes it look so graceful and effortless. So did you know they're like falling over?
I know. We're all just a disgrace in the background. Did you know that she was a trooper? Do you know she was in the Siamser performance troupe a long time ago? I
didn't, but I saw it on one of the posts, so that's so lovely that you reconnected.
Yeah, so it's like the village. She is our village yogi. She's wonderful. Good. Well, I'll see you at yoga then. That's lovely. Yeah. So thank you so much for having me. And I'll speak to you at yoga hopefully, or next class. But yes, send you heartfelt vibes.
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Take care, my dear, and I'll see you very soon.
Grand. Thank you. Bye.